And welcome back to another episode of the Men's Report, Fantasy Prediction Show, hosted by yours truly, Menace to Fantasy. Let's go. And welcome back to another episode of the Men's Report, Fantasy Prediction Show. Welcome back, folks. Your boy's back in the studio. Welcome back. Hold up. Welcome. Let me stop this real quick. Hold up, folks. I apologize. All right, ladies and gentlemen. It's Saturday evening. It's about to be evening, late afternoon. And I was sitting there, and I was like, I got time today. No softball practice, no softball game. I said, it's been 2 weeks since I hopped in here. Let me hop in here and do a real quick video, okay? With the NFL draft right around the corner, April 23rd in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, home of the 6-time Super Bowl champion Pittsburgh Steelers. That draft is about to go down. And you already know, once that draft goes down, jokers in both leagues are going to be asking when we're going to do the Dynasty rookie draft. So, just like last year, I did profiles of each top a rookie. I'm going to do it again this year. Before I do that, though, I'm just going to do a preview of 4 jokers. I think they're going to go early in both formats of Dynasty, in regular Dynasty 1 QB, and in Superflex, where you can start 2 quarterbacks. All right. Now, these 4 individuals had good seasons. They had good careers, and they're about to make some money. They're about to get drafted. Now, these 4 players should go. I'm talking about Dynasty draft, not the real NFL draft, because one of these jokers might go the second round in the real draft. But in fantasy, Dynasty, these guys are all going to go in the first round. Now, in a 1 QB league, they'll probably be within the top 8 picks. In the Superflex, Fernando Mendoza is going to sneak in there and break them up. Fernando Mendoza, the quarterback from Indiana, he's going to get drafted in that Superflex. Somebody's going to take him within the top 5 picks. That's just my opinion. Am I a big fan? Now, is he good? Yes. Tell the truth, I wish somebody would disagree with me so we could have a little debate. I think this quarterback class is kind of weak this year coming out. Now, if that boy Archie Manning had declared it came out that, oh, yeah, that'd have been the big name everybody's been on, but he's not going anywhere. Archie ain't going nowhere. So, relax. We're going to have to wait another season before Archie comes in there. So, the 4 individuals, I want to just do a brief Dynasty preview. It's just a preview. I'm just going to give you a little bit. We're going to go Jeremiah Love, running back out of Notre Dame. I'm going to discuss Carnell Tate, wide receiver out of Ohio State. Micah Lemon, wide receiver out of USC. And the last joke I'm going to talk about real quick is Jordan Tyson, wide receiver out of Arizona State. Okay. My opinion, again, I think this class is wide receiver heavy. Wide receiver heavy. All right. That's what I think the bread and butter is with the wide receivers this year. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's wide receiver is the bread and butter. Okay? So let me start this off. And of course we're gonna start with the young man that in all Dynasty formats, regardless of 1 QB or Superflex, should be the 101. Jeremiah Love, running back, Notre Dame. All right, real quick. This is just a few folks, but this is the first guy I'm going to dig a little bit deeper. Maybe by next Friday, I'll come out with a deep, detailed profile of Jeremiah Love. But this is just real quick. He's the favorite to be the 101 in all Dynasty formats, like I just said. Jeremiah Love. He's a true 3-down back, rushing, receiving, and we know receiving is gold in PPR. And he's a bigger back, Jeremiah Love, but he's got nice hands. This young man is very explosive. He has good vision. He has good vision. He just get the ball and just run to the back of his lineman. He has good vision. He has size, speed, combination that projects to be a workhorse in the NFL. Out of all these young men, he's probably the safest asset. Even though they don't like to pay running backs because they think their careers don't last long, but he's the safest asset. Out of all these jokers I'm about to just preview, he's the safest one. All right, he's gonna have a good NFL career, and overall his ceiling is the and his career is a top 5 fantasy running back. Not his first year, but as the season goes by, he gets he gets adjusted. Before his career is over, he'll be a top 5 fantasy pick. He'll start going in the first round, not this year, but he'll start going in the first round. Maybe next year, he'll be drafted in the first round. All right, let's transition to the next young man, Cornell Tate, wide receiver, Ohio State. All right. I know the other young man I'm going to talk about, both young men, are a little bit favored over this guy, but I think he's going to be the first wide receiver taken off the board. Cornell Tate for the Dynasty. Even in the real NFL draft, I think he's going to be the first wide receiver taken. He has prototypical size and athleticism for an outside wide receiver in the NFL. He already played in a high-level offense at Ohio State, and he's shown to be effective. Now, a little jab at him. His speed, he's fast, but he's not that burnt like, oh my God. But if you watch the tape, he knows how to get open. Why? Because he knows how to run routes. He's just not a vertical threat and that's it. No, he's a good route runner. That's why he gets open so much, because he knows how to run routes. He knows how to, there's a lot that goes into being a wide receiver, and he's got it down packed. He has big red zone upside. This is why I think he's going to be the first wide receiver taken. He has a big red zone upside. So that means TD boost in all formats. Boy knows how to go up and come down with the ball. He has excellent hands. Excellent hands. You throw it up, he's coming down with the ball. It's almost like a Mike Evans type thing. When Mike Evans goes up, Mike Evans comes down with the ball. Cornell Tate did the same thing at Ohio State. He went up, contested, he was coming down with that ball. So let's transition to the next wide receiver. Now, this was the best wide receiver in college last year. What was that award? But Borlikov, I probably pronouncing it wrong, but he won the best wide receiver route. And she was like, "School, why he's not going to be the first wide receiver drafted?" He might. I don't think he should. You know why? Because in the NFL, he's going to project as a slot wide receiver. Makai Lemon, wide receiver at USC. He has elite route running skills, and he has excellent hands. He can play on the inside. When the majority of the time, he was on the inside, but he can put on the outside. But the majority of his damage in college came in the slot. And I think, what's my man up at Detroit? Amon-Ra St. Brown, the Sun God. This young man kind of reminds me of him. I'm not saying he's Sun God, but he reminds me of Sun God. All right. He has a huge target share potential. Like I said, he's almost like a straight up possession route receiver, but he can do work. Once he gets that ball in his hand, he does work. He's a perfect PPR type, 100 plus targets a year. I can see that coming. He has a high floor as a wide receiver 1 type. He might be the safest wide receiver in this whole class. Because like I said, he won the best wide receiver award in college. And he's tough. This joker is tough. He is tough. Especially in the slot, he is tough. So let's transition to the Yucks man I'm going to be breaking down as the weeks go is Jordan Tyson, wide receiver, Arizona State. Now, if this young man didn't have injury history, he has big-time injury history, he, in my opinion, would be the first wide receiver drafted in this NFL draft coming up. but he has an injury history. But he has big play ability. Big play ability. He's a true vertical threat. And you know in the NFL, the game is made for offense, high scoring offense. So he goes strong in there. He has a strong projection profile, and his stock is rising. It keeps on rising as we get closer to the draft. He fits the modern fantasy wide receiver role with his size and his ability. He's explosive, and he has target upside. You know, he's really not a possession receiver. He has target upside. Like I said, he has big play ability. So a smart OC will get the ball in this young man's hands. So depending where he goes, if he's a number 2, that number 1 might help him out, and he just explodes because all the coverage is going to the number 1. And he's up there one-on-one. And like I said, he has big play ability. So, ladies and gentlemen, just the final verdict. And like I said, I'm going to break it down each individual a little bit further. I just want to give you a preview of the first 4 I'm going to be talking about. So, the best overall asset, Jeremiah Love, running back Notre Dame. The best PPR wide receiver, Makai Lemon at a USC, the wide receiver. And the highest ceiling is Jordan Tyson. If he didn't have the past injuries, the injury history, he would be the first wide receiver taken. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, the first young man will be Jeremiah Love. Maybe next Friday, I'll knock it out, and I'm going to do pros and cons for each individual. So the video will be a little bit longer. So, folks, I hope you're ready. I'm ready. Dynasty drafts are right around the corner. And it's time. I told you I don't take time off. I don't. If you want to keep on winning chips, you got to stay in this. You got to keep on working. You got to stay hungry and keep on studying. And that's what Roberto is going to do. So let's end this correctly so I can edit it real quick and get y'all in there so y'all can watch it. Let's end this, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know the draft order. Usually is how you finish. You know, if you finish first, you'll be the last pick in the draft. If you finish last in the series, you'll be the first pick. But you know, people are going to trade, and people want to be picking, switching stuff. So until all the commissioners put it in there, we really don't know what the draft order is. I just need y'all to study and get ready and get this popping. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Peace. Big up to South Carolina Gamecocks there on Stanley. That was some bitch ass shit by Gino. Yo, you lost, dog. Shake the hand and keep it moving. Peace.